Hi. As you may be able to tell, I have never done something like this. Thank you. So I had some. I'm gonna try to like make this coherent. But so I was. So I have been an only child for most of my life, for the beginning of my life, until I was 15. So I identify as an only child. And I remember as a kid spending a lot of time alone, and I was very good at keeping myself occupied. I did a lot of drawing and a lot of just like talking to myself in the mirror, which maybe sounds sad, but I had a lot of fun. I spent a lot of time alone because I kind of always got the feeling that I was an inconvenience to my parents a little bit. Like, they got divorced when I was so little that I don't remember them ever being married. So after that, I feel like there was a little bit of a sense that I was just like still there. Like, oh, like the marriage didn't work out, but like she's still here. Like, I guess we'll just like, and this wasn't like all the time or anything, but it was always like, okay, I guess we're gonna have to, like the word schlep was used a lot. Like, I was always being schlepped from one home to another. But you know, there was this sort of like general like, we're busy with other things, you know, which is normal. So, like I said, I was alone a lot, and I didn't really grow up around like other kids. I mainly was around adults. So I was treated like an adult, and whenever I was around other kids, I had a lot of trouble relating, which I don't know. But, so my dad is from Ecuador, and I have to take a deep breath because I'm not breathing, you guys. It's a problem. I'm gonna like, okay. My dad's from Ecuador, and as I was growing up, we would take trips to Ecuador to like, for me to get to know our family and stuff. And on one of the trips, it was in the summer, I was 14, and I was hanging out with like the local kids, which was very uncomfortable for me. You know, because they're like, they just like travel in hordes, and like they just like, everyone's touching everyone's belongings, and I just like I said, like I grew up alone with like my notebooks and my pens and my stuff, and like, don't touch my stuff. And the kids were all touching my stuff, and it was like a real big deal. And we were all like, I was 14, and the kids were all like around my age too. Or so I remember. But there was one kid who wasn't really a kid, who still hung out with us though. And because Ecuador is so inappropriate as a country, it's like really cool and normal to use like very racist terms for everybody. And this a man who was 18 years old was darker. And so his name for everybody was Monkey. And that, I want to reiterate, like, that's normal there. And that's not considered, like, offensive. Like, my name was just Fat. It was just, yeah, it was Gorda. Like, it's Gorda, that's her. That just means fat. Again, like, I was deeply hurt. I'm American, like, that's not nice, you know, like, but I just remember one night, we were all playing Super Mario, which was pretty cool. I wasn't good at it, but, like, the kids were showing me how to play and stuff, and I was sitting on the bed next to this 18-year-old man who hangs out with kids, which, like, again, I kind of want to preface, like, that's much weirder here, I think, than there. It's still weird, though. I thought he was so cool, though. Like, all I knew about him was that he was, like, really good at soccer, and I was like, great, he's a great person, like, I don't know. But at some point, we full on made out. And at the time, I was like, wow, like this is the best thing I've ever experienced in my whole life. But thinking back on it, it was pretty gross. It was just kind of like, just the mashing together of two mouths more than anything. Like I didn't know what was going on. But it was great. Up until that point, that was like the best thing I'd ever experienced. And the next day, my family and I had to like go somewhere to like a mountain or some Andes or some shit. I don't even care. I hate Ecuador, just kidding. Like I actually did at the time. I was like, this sucks. We're like in the Andes or whatever. And all I could think about was just like how I had finally met this guy. It was going to be great. I was going to, whenever we got back from this mountain thing, like, we were going to pick up right where we left off, and he's obviously interested in me. Like, I need to, this is going to go in so many different directions, probably. And so during this trip, I pretty much, like, we were married, like, in my mind. And, I was like, when I get back, so I finally get back, and I'm like, I'll just go surprise him at his house. Like, he obviously wants to see me. So, went to his house. He lives with his mom. Again, that's normal there. Oh, he's only 18, so that is normal. Never mind. But he was like a very mature 18-year-old. I don't know, anyways. Go to his house. The door's unlocked, obviously, because, it's a small town. And he's not in the house. I look around. But once you come through the front door, you can see all the way to the back of the house, and there's a window. And I look through the window, and I see him. And that's when things took a turn. There he is with this girl, and he's not, like, doing anything, which only made it worse for me somehow. Like, they were just chatting and, like, laughing. And somehow for me, like, that's so much worse than, like, if they had just been, like, full on, like, doing it, I don't know. Maybe y'all don't relate on that. But there he was, just, like, laughing, and, like, I think there was some, like, arm touching going on, but I just, like, got the message very clearly that there was, like, something going on between them. Like, it was very clear, even though they weren't doing anything. And somehow a feeling came up that I was so ready to feel. Like, it was a familiar feeling. It was the feeling that, like, here I am again, not being paid attention to. Here I am again, I'm not important to somebody. And it was so painful. And I remember spending, like, a little too long just watching him so that I could, like, just feel worse somehow. And maybe that sounds really sad and dark, but the end of the story is I went on to have a lot of other, this was like a preview of, like, my dating life for many years. Like, just, like, great in the beginning and then so horrible later on. But I'm good now. That's all I'll say about that.